Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Do you trust Melania Trump? Do you believe Melania Trump? This is the video that is going to be mainly focused on what took place yesterday in the United States. Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, made a statement regarding her connection or lack of with Jeffrey Epstein. And why I want to talk about it today, since there are so many other much more important things than that, is because I want to ask few questions. What are they trying to cover up? And is this something to pay attention, or is this something to absolutely ignore as far as it all has been scripted? Because it does not feel genuine at all. That's for sure. In my case, when I heard her saying those statements, something just didn't really resonate. Something was quite off. So I'm not sure what are your feelings about it, but I have few things that I want to go through. 4 reasons, or maybe 5 reasons that are behind that statement. So before we start, guys, I want to say huge thank you to, just give me a moment, to Linda and to GN for your donations on PayPal. Huge thank you, very, very grateful for your support, very appreciated. So let's start with the first thing. Well, actually, maybe we should just start with what she was saying. This is not long, few minutes long. Let's listen to her again and feel it. Feel it, feel the vibe. Words are one thing, but the energy does not lie. So let's feel it first. Let's hear it and feel it. And then I will break down into 5 things that this could be a big distraction because of other much more important things taking place.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI in interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
All right, so a few words from me now, and then we go to the reasons why this took place. I should not comment on her English since mine is far away from being perfect. It's not horrible, but I'm sure that I make so many mistakes that I could be easily criticized for them. However, I know that many of you came across the videos with Melania Trump in her youth, I would say. So during this time when she started to date Trump, and there were a number of interviews circulating on internet. And I must say, I don't know about you, but I got this impression that her English in that time was actually pretty good, almost as if it was better than it is right now, which is quite strange because usually the longer you live in the country, the better the language gets, right? So yeah, I mean, that also distracts people from the message because they hear the mistakes like circulating or financial or other things like that. Anyway, let's start with what is the reason. So first, I'm going to play for you a video. And in this video, this gentleman, this young guy, is going to describe his reason why she came out with this statement, about which allegedly Trump didn't know. Then he said he knew, he didn't know, I don't know, always confusing. But there were some soldiers who actually came out saying that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of not Defense but War, has been lying, and because of his lies, 6 service members had died during this operation with Iran. So let's take a listen to this first reason to cover up the incompetence, or maybe not even just incompetence, but lies and manipulation and deceit of Hegseth, okay? Which, by the way, he's going to be thrown under the bus. I think it's just a matter of time because he's already getting in that underneath the bus. Let's take a listen. First reason is to cover up the multiple service members who came out accusing him of being a liar and causing the death of 6 American soldiers. I think there's much more than 6, but...
It is not an accident that Melania Trump is all over your feeds right now. It's not an accident that all the media outlets are replaying her speech over and over again. Her curated, scripted speech. Curated and scripted, just like the release of the Epstein files. This administration decided long ago that they will use the Epstein files as a tool. Today, multiple U.S. service members came out and said Pete Hegseth lied about the Kuwait drone attack that got 6 service members killed. Multiple service members. That is a big fucking story. But Melania Trump is dominating the headlines with a bunch of denials, and nobody's paying attention to these soldier stories. It's not a mistake.
All right, so that was his reasoning for covering up the lies of Pete Hegseth. Now, before we go into the second, much more juicy explanation why she came up with this statement, I don't want to say, well, I want to say this. One thing I don't believe for sure. I don't believe when she said that she didn't know anything about what Epstein was involved in. I'm not believing this at all. I think it's absolutely a lie, in my opinion, because if you are, let's just consider the fact, which I don't think she's telling the truth overall, but let's just take it into consideration. Okay, so they just met each other at some parties. Let's say that she's telling the truth. And that happened several times. In those kind of circles, people know, usually they know who is who, especially when someone like Epstein is doing certain things that are absolutely connecting so many groups of people. In a long story short, she knew what he was involved in. Now, her being a model, don't you think she knew about what was happening with other models? I'm not believing this at all. I think she absolutely knew what's going on. Now, this story, fake story. Maybe this is just, not legit. Someone is creating, fake information here. But consider this, just consider this, because if this is true, it could be, right? Very much likely. How many things they were lying about? So now let's take a listen to the second story, which is maybe she had something to do with Epstein on a much deeper level than just meeting him once in a while at the parties in Palm Beach and New York.
A new book was published yesterday in the US and UK entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. It's by a British journalist by the name of Andrew Loney. And it's about the pathetic life of Prince Andrew, but it is also about his connection to Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Melania Trump. And in fact, it contains a passage in which Epstein is quoted, and this is from an interview apparently in 2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced his relationship with Melania.
All right, so do I like this guy? I think Wolf, this was the guy. Do I trust him? No, I don't. But the author of that book that he has mentioned, Andrew Loney, I believe that's his last name, I probably mispronounced. He had been vocal about Epstein for a long time, and he was really vocal about Prince Andrew being involved, his involvement, a royal family being involved in this relationship of Prince Andrew and Epstein, covering up and spending taxpayers' money on some things related to Epstein. So let's just consider this, that this could be potentially true, which explains a lot, but it's, I'm not surprised anymore because all this group is so not like what I originally thought they are. But there is another reason to consider that this could be true. And here is a video. This lady is going to present us a story about a woman who I believe used to be Melania's friend for many years. And she was, for a long time, very close to her family and her parents. And this is the story that will also explain a lot why those allegations never took place, those trials never took place, because a lot of women who are involved in it, who are victims, who are connected to the Epstein story, are actually still working at the White House. So let's take a listen.
We know what Melania was trying to get out in front of. And you guys need to stay around and listen to this because this is an Epstein break that goes deep. So this young woman, I'm going to read you this post from X. It says, it's by Amanda Ungaro, Ungaro. Now, I did just a quick search for her. She is a Brazilian model. She is also known to socialize in the P-class and diplomatic circles. And in 2025, she was taken into ICE custody. She wrote this, and it says, "Hello, Melania. I was around you for 20 years. You knew I was inside ICE. And you know what hurts after all this time? I stayed close to your family, your mother and your father, not because of you, but because of them at events and everything else. So shut your mouth when speaking about me, because I will expose everything I know. I have nothing left to lose in my life. I will tear down the entire system. Be careful with me, bitch." What does this tell us? The victims, we're wondering why more victims aren't coming forward, why people aren't saying things, because if she is to be believed, the victims are still in the circles with the perpetrators. This is a level of sickness I am having a hard time wrapping my head around. They're victimized as children and they grow up and they're still in the same circles. They're socializing together. They're working in the White House.
So you could see in the comments, people were saying that Caroline Leavitt, who is the press secretary at the White House, she married a man who is 32 years older than herself, and that she was groomed. Those were the comments. You know, in this crazy world, everything is possible, right? Would you consider that as well? You never know. Now, so we have the soldiers who are accusing Hexet of lying. We have the story that probably Melania was sleeping with Epstein before she met Trump. And we have the story, of course, about this girlfriend now who knows a lot what was taking place behind the scenes. Let's not forget that very recently they were also threatening Pope. Not like I think Vatican is a good thing, but hey, that's a breaking news. Shouldn't be a breaking news, everyone. And also, let's not forget that just 2 days ago, Israel completely did something that, I mean, yesterday when I woke up and I look at the images from Lebanon, I said to myself, how much more evil we have to look at to realize what is the difference between good and bad. So now, if we go to the numbers, let me just take you to the numbers, because this could be another cover-up. Let's not talk about Lebanon. Let's talk about Melania's statement. What is the death toll in Lebanon right now? Because this is all together, okay? This is not just from those 100, by the way, strikes. This is from the moment they started to attack Lebanon recently, right? The death toll in Lebanon has reached at least 1,888 people as of April 9th. So this is a day ago. Following a major escalation of airstrikes, Israeli airstrikes, 18. I don't know why this. I think it was much more than it was 100. I think 100. Am I correct, guys? Please put in the comments. Anyway. From March 2nd till present, this is the death toll. Total wounded, over 6,000. I came across over 7,000, by the way. Civilian impact. Victims include at least 110 children, women, and elderly people from the most recent strikes alone. Healthcare workers, at least 40 medical workers have been killed since the March escalation began. And displacement, more than 1.1 million people, roughly 20% of the population, have been forced to flee their homes. So this is another thing that, of course, now with Melania coming out and making this statement, people just look the other way, because literally she made this statement yesterday, and this is like the day after that horrific demolition and destruction in Lebanon. And killing people for what, right? Blood sacrifice, literally ritual blood sacrifice. So now what? Meanwhile, Trump. To, of course, distract from both Lebanon and Melania, or God only knows what else, comes out with this statement, which is really long, but I'm going to read most of it, if not all of it, for you, because I'm sure you've seen this already. Now he is attacking the influencers, the MAGA influencers who are no longer MAGA. And let's read this. This is very new from today. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, as if Israel is not, right? To have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their records. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They have all been thrown off television, lost their shows from the fake news, by the way, that he calls, those televisions are the fake news by his words not long time ago. Shows and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They are not jobs troublemakers and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they got some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. This is so sad, right? Anyway, let's continue. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN an 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flying fools, sorry if I mispronounce, like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman than Candace. Oh my God. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attacks on the families of and the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news, CNN, the falling New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They are not MAGA, they are losers, just trying to leech, I think this is how you say, leech onto MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Majorie Traitor Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength, is not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. So guys, let me say a few things here before we go to the next video, including him, by the way. I am under this impression after reading this not tweet but post, that this is like a movie script. Like literally, this is scripted. Now the question is, does scripted in a way that both sides know that this is taking place? So do you think that Candace and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Alex Jones, I'm not a fan of Alex Jones at all, actually. Do you think they are playing their parts in this freaking movie and they are part of the script and they are aware of it and they are just playing their parts as if they are opposing it? Or do you think this is actually genuine? Like when you go and see the videos with Tucker Carlson, that he's genuinely, sincerely upset and disturbed by the current affairs in the United States and worldwide involving the United States and Israel? What do you think? I really want to know. Meanwhile, also Trump, as far as the high IQ goes, I just want to ask someone, I think, put in this post here as well. Did they run out of the ribbons? Let me find it, guys. Do you think someone said, can we not afford longer ribbons, right? So what the heck? I mean, don't you think this is really doesn't look good? This does not look good. On March 2nd this year, US President Donald Trump held a Medal of Honor ceremony at the White House, honoring 3 American soldiers for extraordinary bravery. retired command sergeant, I think this is Sergeant Major Terry P. Richardson, received the nation's highest military decoration for actions during the Vietnam War in 1968, when he repeatedly exposed himself to enemy fire to rescue wounded soldiers and directed airstrikes that helped save about 85 members of this unit. So this is the highest award for military, and they don't even have long enough ribbon to put on this man. Anyway, so let me see if anything else I have for you today. I really would like to know your thoughts, guys, because this is all very shady and is just not feeling right to me. They are distracting us from those things that I've mentioned, or maybe from something else that is happening that we have no clue about. Usually that's how it goes. Something really important is happening, but they take your attention and don't look over here, look over there. The old formula, always. Something is going on. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching the video, for hitting the thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. My channel is heavily suppressed. A lot of people are being unsubscribed. I am aware of it. So check your subscription, please, if you still want to watch my videos and be notified. And if you want to support my work, the best way is to join my Patreon or Locals community and support me there. Tomorrow I will be posting exclusive video for Patreon and Locals, so make sure to check it out. And also you can donate on PayPal, or if you want to buy my products, I have 2 books for children. If you would like to give a nice gift to a child, you can consider buying them. And that's all for today, everyone. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you tomorrow on Patreon and Locals. Bye, guys.